Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Pinkfresh Studio design team, and this is my second layout for this month using the new Everyday Musings collection. And I'm going to start this layout with a cut file, and this is a cut file from Paige Evans, and it is called Floral Butterfly Outline. And I wanted to use various pattern papers from this collection to back all of the flowers and leaves on the right side of this cut file. And this is one of my favorite techniques to do, is to back a cut file with all kinds of papers. And I like this technique because it gives you the opportunity to use lots of color and lots of patterns in small doses without going overboard with too much. And there's several ways you can back a cut file. You can do it like this, where you can just trace it and then cut out the shape and glue it behind the cutout part, or you can just glue it straight down and then cut around it. I kind of wanted to, if you look at the cut file, there are little clusters of the same shape, and so I wanted to do all the clusters, like all those three flowers are the same. I wanted to do all of those in the same color. So I'm going to do this light blue pattern paper behind that. And this is, you know, one of those techniques that's not hard, but you just have to have patience. And I think it's fun to go through all the different patterns and the colors and just kind of play around and see what part of what paper looks good where. And it also allows you to really look deeper at your pattern papers, because there may just be one little tiny spot on a paper that you want to use. And so these little shapes are pretty small, so it doesn't take much paper to back these with. But I'm going to try to incorporate the purple, the yellow, the greens, the light and the dark blues. And so this paper had these really fun leaves, and I'm going to use those to back behind these little leaf cutouts, and they're perfect for that. So I'm not going to film me backing this entire cut file because, you know, it's kind of boring after a while. You get the idea. So there, it's all done. I kind of went with a light pastel color scheme, which I think is really, really pretty. I've got a little bit of pink in there too. And I'm going to use this picture. I chose this color picture because I think it's adorable. I know I scrapped so many selfies of me and my kids, but they always just turn out so cute. And she's wearing the perfect color shirt, and she has a butterfly on her shirt. And so I thought it matched this collection really well. And to let all those colors and my photo really shine, I'm going to use a white cardstock background. And this is just some really thick basil, I think it's marshmallow or double thick cardstock. And I'm going to coat it with clear gesso because I want to add some color to the background behind the butterfly. And I'm using the Pinkfresh Studio liquid watercolors. And I first wanted to play on the light blue color. And so I pulled out the royal blue color of the liquid watercolors, and I just added a little bit. These colors are very, very bold and bright. And if you want to soften them up, you really don't need more than just a little drop. And the more water you add to it, of course, the lighter it's going to get. And I just used the packaging technique there. I just smushed it down to spread the color around. And then to lighten it up, I'm just going to add a few drops of white craft acrylic paint. Nothing expensive at all here. I just had this bottle. I think I got it from Walmart. But I like the way it kind of runs and blends with the water that I've got on the page, and it just sort of softens up different areas of the blue because I want this to be light. I'm not going to go super crazy and cover the whole background, but I do want a couple of different colors. So I'm going to mix some of the paint with the light blue to add a little bit of splatters there. And you can see how easy that was to lighten that paint up because it is really dark and really bold, and it's a gorgeous color, but I wanted to have it lighter for the color scheme that I've got going here. So the paint that I added to it's going to thicken it up a little bit, and yeah, I like the way that looks. And so I've got this nice splotchy look. I'm going to add a little bit of white gesso over some areas of it just to soften it up even more. And I'm going to kind of tilt the butterfly so the edges of the wings on the left sort of run off the page. And then I'm going to add a couple of things behind the photo just to add some messy, subtle, detailed layers. And I'm going to start with some white tissue paper, and that's just from my stash. I always like to do that because it just adds a little something behind the photo. And then I'm going to add one of the 3x4 journaling cards that I've already torn a piece off of, that's that deep blue color, and then one that's got some of that darker purple around the edges there. And I just want those kind of peeking out from behind the edges, just to add something of color over on that side, since the bulk of the color is going to be on the right side. And I'm going to play around with some of these ephemera die cuts. I'm going to add in some flowers. There's a really a lot of cute phrases and sayings that go with kind of anything, really. That's what I like about a lot of Pinkfresh Studios collections, is they're general. And so, you know, they're not super themed, except for the Christmas ones, but that's Christmas. But I like these because they're just, you know, it's easy to scrap everyday photos like this, and you know, they're not too specific. So I wanted to add a little something to the right to kind of make this look a little, I don't even know what the word is. Sometimes I like to tear the edges or cut them kind of crooked, and then scruff up the edges with my little edge distresser and make it look kind of crooked, and then add another paper behind it so it looks like it's layered. And so I thought I would go with this light lavender pattern paper, and I've already cut into that paper for backing some of the cut file here. And so I'm just going to use a portion of it to add behind there, and then I'm going to cut the rest of it off because I don't want to waste all of that paper. And I like how that looks. I like that little pop of purple over there to the right. So I'm going to go back to my photo and start to add the layers in. And I like to use my little edge distresser. I've had that thing for so long, I don't even remember where I got it. But it's got a little tiny blade in the middle of it, and all you do is run it through, or run your paper through it, and it kind of ruffles up the edges there. So this is a little ephemera die cut. I like the light pink flowers. It's going to pull some of that light pink over to the left. And then I'm going to go through the puffy stickers and add in a couple more flowers and some stems. I'm trying to get all the colors over to the left. So I've got pink, yellow, and the dark blue. And this is just a little label. It's got a pop of yellow. It's hard to tell here because it's pretty small, but it's got a little pop of yellow that I'm going to add to the bottom there. And then I really want to use the blue circle that says, "The world needs what you are." And I love that. Fits my children perfectly, I think. Because look at this picture. She's like smushing me, giving me kisses. And I can never get sick of looking at pictures of my kids kissing me, because, you know, they're not always like that. And so anytime they're in those kind of moods, I'm going to grab my camera, and who cares what I look like? I want that moment documented. So I want to raise the cut file off the page, and so all I'm doing here is adding some little pieces of adhesive foam that I have in my stash, and I get that from Walmart. It's in the craft aisle, and it's in a big pack of like 40 sheets for $5, and it comes in all kinds of colors, and you can just cut it. It's very easily cut, and you can even bend it to shape it if you're trying to back, you know, a circle or a shape. And it's just the perfect height. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's perfect. So I'm going to come in with some thread. I love adding tangled thread to my layouts, and I've got that deep blue color. I'm going to add a little bit over there to the right, and then a little bit underneath the photo and the butterfly right there in the middle. And I've said this a million times, as long as I've been adding thread to my layouts, I still don't really know what it is, you know, what made me start doing that. I love texture, and I love that it looks kind of messy and random, and I love that it adds pops of color. I can't tell you how many layouts I've created where I've needed a pop of a certain color in an area, and I didn't have any embellishments or paper in that color, you know, whether it's like a deeper shade or a lighter shade of a certain color. And so the thread is perfect for that. And I know a lot of people are neat and clean scrappers, and adding messy thread to their layouts is their worst nightmare. And that is wonderful. I think that's great. If we all scrap the same, it would be a boring place. So if you do like messy elements, then I suggest the thread, because it's super cheap. I get it from Walmart. It's nothing special. It's just, I think, the Coats brand, and they have a ton of colors. And so, you know, every time or every other time I'm in Walmart, I try to go by there and grab a spool or two and just add to my collection. And yeah, you never know what color you may need. So I'm going to start to glue everything down. I want the photo kind of at an angle, and I want kind of an overlap of those flowers there on the edge. And I'm also going to add in, here's that little circle I was talking about. Like I said, I love the message that this gives. I wanted to incorporate it somewhere. I didn't talk about the little heart that I added to the bottom left. Those are from the Everyday Musings collection, and they're these dimensional stickers, and they're so cute. They have little adhesive foam under there, and so you could actually take that apart if you wanted to make it less dimensional. I'm going to use this word together from the metallic gold puffy stickers as my title, but I wanted to tone down the brassy shininess of the gold, and so all I did was smudge a little bit of white gesso on top of it, and it's just going to make it a little softer and not as shiny. And again, that's just a preference. It just depends on the look you're going for. I'm going to add it right there and glue it down. And I thought that was perfect. It, you know, we're together, and the title was there for me to use. And so I didn't want to spend hours trying to come up with another title. It was perfect. So I'm going to add a couple more splatters in matching colors. So again, I took the purple watercolor and watered it down quite a bit. And you can see how light and soft it is. If I wouldn't have added water, it would have been very dark and very bold, which, you know, again, it just depends on your color scheme. But see that little tiny drop of yellow? It's just one little teeny tiny drop, and watch how much color it's going to provide. And that's the green color. Look how much color that is. You really don't need a lot. If you have these watercolors, they will last you forever because you do not need a lot. And also like to use a napkin or a paper towel to kind of dab it up. If it does look a little too dark, as soon as you splatter it down, if you dab some of it up, it's going to instantly lighten it. And, you know, you can always go darker if you want to. I'm going to do the same thing with these gold hearts that are on the puffy sticker sheet. Lighten them up a little bit or tone them down a little bit, and then add those in a couple places around the layout as well, just to add some more spots of that gold color. And I'm definitely going to make sure those are glued down, because whenever I use gesso, nothing ever wants to stay stuck down. Getting close to being finished here. I didn't want to add too much more to it because, you know, the right side of the page is busy on its own, and I didn't want to put anything else over there. I didn't need it, and I felt like I have enough over to the left of the photo. So I've got, you know, I think the cut file, the papers stand out, the photo stands out. It's just a matter of finding that happy medium to where you don't overpower your photo, and it doesn't get lost in the colors and the patterns and everything. So I'm going to add my journaling here at the end. I'm using a gold metallic pen, and then I added the date, and that is the final page. I love how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this process. Highly suggest you check out the Everyday Musings collection because it is adorable and it's perfect for spring. It's just, you know, there's flowers and hearts, and it's just a happy collection, and it's right up my alley. So let me know if you have any questions about any of the products or the techniques or anything at all. I'll make sure to link the collection below as well as the cut file. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.